The Prince of Paxony by Geoff Maynard, Chapter 2, The Mountain. The trail ahead was narrower now, little more than a rabbit track. Soon the path became too steep to ride. Aaron was forced to dismount and had to lead the pony. As the day wore on, the lush vegetation at the beginning of the path gave way to coarse, spiky grass and tough, thorny bushes, which caught at his cape as he passed. Behind him, unnoticed, dark, heavy clouds, full of snow, were pushed towards him by a chill wind. Aaron was tired. His feet hurt. He could feel a blister forming where his left boot was chafing his big toe. He trudged on and on, forever upwards, the pony faithfully following behind on a loose lead. Aaron kept his eyes down, looking only at the path a few feet ahead. The pain in his foot was increasing, and the evening was closing in, but he wanted to cross the mountain pass before making camp for the night. He was already above the tree line when the snow started to fall. Still, he kept on. The pony was beginning to drag behind, seemingly reluctant to go on. "Come on, Smudge, only a little further to go now." And on they went. Within an hour, Aaron realised his mistake. The snow, which had started as just a gentle fall, had grown into a snowstorm, a blizzard. The path ahead was becoming obscured. Soon there would be no telling of which was the way ahead. Aaron looked back past his pony. Already their footprints were being hidden. The snow whipped about in small flurries and was settling in drifts all the way back down the path. To turn back was just as dangerous as to go on. There was only one thing to do: find shelter and wait until the snow melted. But where? On one side, the ground fell away down the mountain, the drop hidden by the swirling snow. On the other side, there was a sheer wall of rock. Night started to fall more swiftly now, and the snow pelted him in the face. He pulled the fur collar of his cloak higher and stumbled on. Thoughts of climbers who had lost their lives on these mountains went through his head. How could I have been so stupid, he thought. Everyone knows that when evening approaches on a mountain, it's time to go down. He was beginning to panic. The dark and the snow blasting at his face were making him unable to see more than a few feet ahead. The pain in his foot was terrible, and he kept stumbling in the thick snow. Eventually, Aaron could correct his slipping and stumbling no longer, and down he fell. Only his hold on the pony's reins prevented him from tumbling down the side of the mountain. Hand over hand, he dragged himself back onto the path and lay exhausted in a heap. He must have blacked out for a while, for when he came to, he found himself laying in a deep drift of snow. He could feel the cold sucking out his energy. It was an effort to even open his eyes. His mind was dulled by cold, and his eyes could only see a blur of snow against the black of the night, except for where the light was. A light? Light means people, and possibly shelter. On all fours, he crawled, totally exhausted, through the thick drifts towards the light which weaved in and out of his vision. The lights became brighter. The wind was howling less. No snow was falling. He was in a cave, and the lights came from an oil lamp burning some 20 foot back. He felt Smudge push past him, and then everything went black as he collapsed unconscious. Something hot and wet on his face awoke him. Smudge was nuzzling him and licking his face. Aaron pushed the pony to one side as he got onto one knee and shook his head to clear it. He looked around him. He was in a cave, some 10 feet wide and 7 feet high, near the entrance. Outside, it was still night, and the snowstorm still raging. The oil lamp which lit the cave was suspended from the roof by a gleaming yellow metal hook. Aaron looked at it, wondering who'd put it there, for apart from himself and the pony, the cave was deserted. From one of the saddlebags, Aaron took the bread and cheese that Anna had given him and ate a thankful meal, washing it down with snow water from the cave mouth. He gave some to Smudge, cupping his hands to make a vessel for him to drink. From another saddlebag, he took some oats and a feed bag. As the pony fed, Aaron scratched its ears and fondled the poor misshapen head. Their meal finished, Aaron reached up and took down the lamp, settling it down beside him. A freak flurry of wind suddenly blasted into the cave, extinguishing the lamp. Aaron cursed softly and was feeling for his matches when he realised that there was another light source coming from the very back of the cave. There, almost invisible, except in the darkness. He lit the lamp in his hand and went to the back of the cave. A tunnel stretched before him. He shielded the lamp in his hand and could just make out in the distance a faint glow. It must be another lamp, he muttered to himself. So the tunnel must go somewhere or nobody would bother lighting it. Come on, Smudge, let's investigate. Holding the lamp ahead of him, they set out into the tunnel, the pony trailing behind.